Thank you.
Getting ready for practice number 12 today, and excited about the opportunity to get out there and get better and improve and allow us to finish well. So we get near the end of spring ball. It's been a great spring for us, and excited to get one last full padded practice in before we have our spring game.
Talk about the spring game a bit, the format, the drafting.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's neat. I tell you, I got this idea working with Coach Taggart, and saw it work very effectively there, and really adopted it, tweaked it a little bit. But what we have is we have our two head coaches. Coach Hagan is head coach of the Crimson team, and Coach DeBoer is head coach of the Cream team, and then they have their own staffs. As a matter of fact, the entire athletic department is divided up on each staff, and so they are fully staffed on each side. And then they've had 4 days to pick. It ended today at noon. They had 4 days to pick their 2 free agents that they get. It's kind of like it simulates the offseason of the NFL, where you pick your top 2 guys that you want, one on offense, one on defense for each team. So they've already signed those guys, and then we have a little fun with that. And then the draft is tomorrow night, 6 o'clock. So they'll have a chance to be able to draft in 4 rounds, 12 guys picked each round, and they'll be able to go and build their team from that. They got to be very organized. I'm the commissioner, so I'll be running the draft, and I'll be announcing the draft picks each time. And then once they go to their war room to meet with their new team, then they got 60 seconds when they're on the clock to make their next pick. So that will go through, and then once that process concludes, we'll have some guys that don't get drafted, which is really how it happens in real life in the draft. So some guys will get their feelings hurt, but that's how it works. And so then from there, they'll have to make free agent phone calls to those guys that are still remaining, and then they have to respond via text to be able to prove that they are going to be on the Cream of the Crimson team. So that's how they'll fill out their roster. So it's a way for us to have a lot of fun with it, but we are going to have 2 complete teams. We're going to play a game, and they're on Thursday night, so it should be a whole lot of fun. Excited to see our guys compete and try and win. And the kicker is the winning team gets a steak dinner, and the losers got to eat hot dogs, and the losing team has to serve the winning team. So but there is some high stakes in this.
So Jeremy Gray's already trash talking. He said,
Oh, yeah.
Cream's going down. So
Oh yeah, it's already been on Twitter, the trash talking and both sides, so it makes for a lot of fun.
I know some schools haven't done like kickoffs or whatever. Do you have any idea what the game format's going to be?
Yeah, it's going to be. Special teams won't be live. We will punt, but we're not going to have live returns, and we're not going to kick off. We'll just place the ball and go from there. So we kick PAT field goals, and we are going to do this. We're going to have. To involve the kickers in the point system. They'll be able to kick field goals in between the quarters that will count towards their team. So that's where the value of drafting the kicker that is going to be the most effective will be very, very valuable. So I want everybody to have a role in this and realize that they got something to be a part of that's very, very important. So we will have that as part of, as well as during the game, those normal situations will create it. Because it'll be played like a normal game.
Going into game week then, talk what's really pleased you offensively, first of all?
Well, it's a new system, so the guys have had to learn new terminology and a new coaching staff. But what I've been encouraged with is just the way they picked it up, and the leadership of our older guys, both on the line of scrimmage, in the backfield with Richard, and then at the receiver corps. We got some experienced guys that have stepped up, and so they've taken to our new staff, and I feel like that they're playing with a lot of confidence, and obviously in the spring game we'll be split up evenly, so it won't be the first unit working together, but at the same time I think you'll see that they have a lot of continuity and seem to be really gelling well.
Do you see the comparing what you saw last year, putting your defense together, that same drive, that same confidence now from the offense?
Yeah, because it's a similar situation. You go through and you install a whole new system, and I think that they believe in it, and our offensive coaches, and led by Coach DeBoer, have done a great job of creating that culture of buy-in and holding them accountable for the way we want to practice, the way you want to perform each and every day. And so the reality is when that's achieved, that you respond a certain way, and when it's not, you help hold them accountable to that standard. And so that really has been consistent by our coaching staff, and I think they've done a great job.
We talked about Ian Thomas, that name came up. with Coach, with Divine, entering the draft and Kenny Patrick unavailable at running back this spring. Who among the running backs, has anybody kind of surfaced there in that unit?
Cole Guest is really, to me, has had a great spring, and has done a great job of picking up the new system. But just, basically when you come watch his practice, he's the guy that people notice, and so he would be one that jumps out for me for sure.
He looked like he was shot out of a cannon when he was running the first couple of games last year. Has he adjusted to like picking a hole or knowing the offense a little bit more?
Yeah, I think so. Just being in year 2 for him. Obviously he wasn't here last spring, but just a chance to be more comfortable being a college football player and learning the offense. And so it's and there's a lot of carryover, schematically to what we're doing. So it's not like it's a completely different, system for him, but just more of the terminology is different. So I think it's allowed him to just kind of pick up where he left off and do really well.
Who's impressed you as far as the mid-year guys that came in?
Hayden, is a guy that really excited about as a punter, Hayden Whitehead, and I commented yesterday to him on practice on Thursday. I just feel like he's gotten better every single day, more comfortable back there, and obviously getting adjusted to American football, but he's got a very live leg and gives us a lot of things we can do with him back there. So excited about him. Juan Harris is another guy I think that has really progressed. He got a lot of reps, and getting him right in his off the field and on the field is matching up, and really pleased with how hard. Mike McGinnis, another one that's really kind of been, I think, has gotten better every day. They thought I watched Thursday's practice, after we watched it together, I watched it by myself and just encouraged by his progress. I think he's a guy that we need to have step up at that position, so really encouraged by him as well.
What do you need to see from your team the last 3 practices to end spring on the right note?
Finish strong. I just talked to our guys in our team meeting about how we finish. The energy, the focus. We've had it every single day. Don't stop now. The clock's ticking. Sense of urgency from our guys, and so I want to see us, especially today, have a great focused, high energy, high intensity practice. A lot of competitions. The 2-minute drill. I want to see our offense finish those. Defense has risen up and has come up with some big plays in those situations, and applied a lot of pressure. And I want to see them be able to finish those drives. So to me, it's the finish concept is what's going to be paramount for our guys these last 3 practices.
Tom, who's taught? Go ahead.
Just how Jason Harris kind of coming along?
Getting healthier. He's still we've not released him full. But he's out there during Skelly. No live contact, but he's progressing. So I'm pleased with his progress for sure. Obviously, he's not 100% yet, or he'd be out of the blue jersey, but he's getting closer.
Tom, who's blossomed defensively that maybe you were looking for at the start of spring that's really evolved into some solid, consistent play?
I think even though Gooch was a good player for us last year, where he's elevated his leadership. Okay. And for me, that's huge. And that speaks to buy-in. It speaks to him just being a mature guy. I think that he really has elevated himself. Khalil Bryant's another one that is a young guy last year. He may have had the best spring of anybody on defense. Okay. And really encouraged by his growth. We even teased him. We had a little nickname for him before when he was young, and then he's grown out of that nickname. So he's KB now, and so but it's his performance and his mindset. So really pleased with those 2 guys.
Speaking of blue jerseys, how's everybody physically? Anything to report there?
It's a lot of similarities. I don't think there's nobody that has been injured is back. And so we got. We'll know about a couple more guys as far as the spring game after today to see how they hold up or see what. This progression from Thursday's practice allows them to be able to participate. But pretty healthy. I think the running back position is getting a little dinged up for us, but which sometimes happens. But overall, the guys that were out are still out, but they are making a lot of progress, and we feel good about where they're at to allow us to be able to get them back for fall.
Have you seen Marcelino kind of grow in his understanding of the game?
Absolutely. I mean, he physically continues to mature and get bigger and stronger, but his understanding of the position, obviously being a true freshman, got a lot of reps, but didn't always see the big picture, But I think just in the way he does things, now, and we're holding him to high standards because he's has exhibited the ability to be a really good player, and it's about the little things for him to be able to understand the why of what we're doing, so that he can do a better job disguising and doing a better job of executing. When some times in the past where he could get exposed a little bit just because of being youth.
We've got Coach Gruden coming in here. Talk a little bit about that. He's got previous relationship, I guess, with Coach DeBoer
That's
and others.
correct.
So talk a little bit about how that came about.
It's just obviously when Coach DeBoer had a chance to go to the NFL level, had a chance to meet him and get to know him, and so we took our staff down there to meet with him in Tampa several months ago, and so that kind of prompted us to say, hey, and his dad coached here with Coach Corso, and so John was a young boy.
He went to elementary school here.
Yeah, he went to elementary school here, so he's bringing his whole family back up. So it's kind of a chance. It's a kind of a great, timing for both, for them to be able to come back up here with his dad and him, and then we're going to involve him as much as we can. So we're going to go in there and do some things with him, with both myself and Coach DeBoer, but he's obviously a pretty dynamic personality, so he's not bashful. He'll be down there on the field, and we'll get him involved.
Is he going to talk to the team?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah, no, there's no question. He's pretty special.
In terms of the offensive side of the ball, obviously you talked about guys coming back from injuries. How do you see sort of Simi coming back this year and fitting in with Nick Westbrook? Obviously kind of similar receivers. How do you see them fitting into the scheme?
Well, it's great to have. Westbrook has not been cleared. So he's still going to be. He's getting more back in the swing of it, and he's involved in our 7-on-7s and everything. But just the fact that to have Simi back with us and have him on one side and Nick on the other, and then you got Donovan Hale in the mix as well with those kind of long bodies, and so it really, tough on the defense. It's matchup issues, big bodies, guys that are athletic, and the biggest thing is that they're hungry to get the ball. And Coach Hurd's done a great job of just polishing them. They're guys that are high level guys, but I've seen them grow already this spring and buy into what he's teaching them, and how you prepare and how you become an NFL receiver. So I think that it's a great combination to have with those guys and with Coach Hurd together, and I've seen a lot of positive growth from them, and I expect even more.
And how much help is that for have those kinds of big bodies guys down in the red zone?
It's huge, and I know for us, and when I say us, talking about defensively, that's a real problem, because not a lot of margin for error. They throw a lot of jump balls down there, and if you're longer than the next guy and the ball's thrown right, it's really, really, really hard to defend it. So it's about ball placement there for us, and giving that receiver a chance. And if he does, the quarterback does his job, then with those kind of guys, it's really difficult on the defense for sure.
Are you still looking to add a special teams coach, and if not, who's taking on that responsibility?
Yeah, we basically have divided the responsibilities on the field with our current coaches. But Jeff McInerney, as a analyst, will work with the organization out off the field, and has done that all spring long. He can't instruct on the field, and he doesn't do that, but he's able to coach the coaches in meetings and get them squared away. Then they are able to go out. He has a tremendous amount of knowledge. That's actually how he and I met, was through studying special teams with the Saints, and so he brings a vast amount of knowledge to us in that area. So it's even showed up already in our spring drill work and everything we've done with special teams. So excited about that.
So Whitehead isn't dribbling the ball or anything before he tries to punt it. Is
No, he's not. So he can,
I know.
but it's funny how the way they.
He's left-footed, right?
He's left-footed. That's correct.
Does that, alter, how you approach things a little bit in terms
A
of
little
protection
bit.
package?
Yeah, it's like having a left-handed passer or doing things that's always kind of a little bit different, and so. But I've had a lefty before, at that position, so it's I'm used to it a little bit. But yeah, it's different for sure.
All right.
Great. Thank you.